Hello and welcome to Rauta Underground Trio. I'm Jerry, and once again this time in Underground Trio episode we have three different bands of three different styles, and of course we'll go through worst to best according to my own opinion, which might be totally different from you. So in case you feel offended because I rated them wrong according to your opinion, I mean, check the facts, listen to the music, don't give a shit what others say, just take your own opinion. That's the only one you really need. First we'll head to Canada with rather typical Canadian band with war metal themes. As you can see, this one is very furry covered band. I mean, that werewolf having a consensual intimate moment with a person with horns and whatnot could be taken from a perverted Dungeons and Dragons version, what have you. But music here is very much death and black metal making love to one another. That is something you people call usually war metal. War metal because it's very chaotic in nature, because it's messy, it's done with boneheaded riffs, and let's be honest about it, it's very demo-ish in the making. That is not to say it's outright bad or anything like that, but more like, yes, it's a full album, even though less than 27 minutes, done in such a fashion that it's like, yes, my very first recording, we didn't even bother including lyrics here because they would be probably very not so great poetry. The thing here is, if you ever heard any kind of a band coming after blasphemy and the like, you pretty much know what to expect, just with less quality and all. Now you might pop some names out there. Okay, there is Revenge, there is Conqueror, there is Black Witcher, there is Archgoat, etc. You can go on with the list. Now, Archgoat, for instance, is way different rather than going full chaotic with the style, but you people probably know what I'm talking about when I talk about death black called war metal. Not exactly sounding as heavy, as brutal as a lot of death metal bands out there, not exactly as dark and sinister and maybe not raw as a lot of black metal bands out there, but somewhere in the middle. Now that combined with chaotic riffing, very boneheaded, three chords things and whatnot, you know what to expect. One could even say it's kind of a punkish in a way. It's very messy, it's very chaotic, it's very simplistic, but then you have this kind of a growly vocals, fast pounding drums and all that stuff. For people who love war metal, this is the thing to go. But if you expect the actual riffs to be audible all the time, I mean, the drums and vocals along, together, they often drown the riff somewhere in the background. They're not audible. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of things went wrong with the mixing and all that stuff. But I guess for people who are more about chaos, even like noisecore, might actually like this. But if you're expecting some good, catchy, memorable riffs and all that stuff, you're with the wrong band. But war metal fans, check it out. Then we go to France with a little bit different, but also at the same time a little bit the same. In general level, this is very different. Plebeian Grandstand. I must say, somebody on Rauta's Discord said these guys really don't look like they're doing metal, and I must say the same. These guys, having their fourth album out, look like some music college dudes like, hey, let's do music that is at the same time avant-garde-ish black metal. It's dissonant, it's complex, it's experimental, it's like grind, marrying noise and what have you. Now there's a reason, I guess, why this band is labeled as avant-garde black metal / mathcore. You heard me right, / power violence. A lot of these parts on the album is something like kind of noisy. They're not exactly the same way as the described war metal effort before this one, but it's more like, what are these guys doing? Do they want to play metal or something else? Then a lot of these times it's just more like modern take on dissonant black metal, having weird angular riffs and all that stuff. And now you look at these guys. Like somebody said, they look more like a Christian rock band rather than guys doing avant-garde black metal. But I guess this is when you have French people doing this kind of stuff. Whatever it is, it's not for everybody. I don't know who this is actually intended for. Maybe you have to be hardcore avant-garde black metal fan to actually embrace it. But lots of these riffs are more like a nuisance. I felt really bored half the time when I was listening to this, and I figured like maybe at some point they will actually come up with some good songs and all that stuff. But it's more like, hey, we have experimental riffs, let's do it. Let's put them in a dissonant ways, stack them up together and see what floats. So yeah, I'm not definitely a big fan of avant-garde black metal, but there are some bands that actually do it nicely. Nicely being, it works for me. And this one is not really either of the case. But there are some parts, so this is not useless. This is not paperweight. But I still wouldn't recommend these for most people, for the genres already listed. I think Raider Music, or RYM, actually added to this avant-garde / power violence / mathcore a thing called post-hardcore. Now, if you can handle such a mix, sign up, you're in for this. And then the best of the pile is a new band from France called A/Oratos. I don't know why a band would want to go with such a kind of a goofy name. I mean, it really doesn't like, hey, pick my interest. But anyway, here it is. This is Ecclesia Gnostica. First album by this very new band. This is 2024 release. I just decided to include it, because those other ones are actually older, from 2021 or so, and this one is new, but it just came, and this is the first album. I mean, it fits totally. Underground Trio episode, and once again, Ladlo release, nice digipack. That's where they really shine. Now, this music then again is more like modern take of French black metal. Surely it's a little bit artsy, but not really avant-garde-ish. Some of the riffs are like a little bit like misplaced. Like if you would call this post-black metal, I really wouldn't dare to say you're wrong. Because in my opinion, there's a lot of parts which you could like pretty much pick from, not necessarily black gaze, but you know, post-black definitely. Then that attached to modern take of black metal, and we're good to go. Now, where this album actually shines is a strong production. It's kind of a clean, but also, you know, giving a lot of room for different instruments. You can hear audible bass, you can hear the guitars and drums, you know, feeling like there's a lot of room for the album to kind of breathe in, breathe out. And that is really supporting the music. Now, my only real complaint is the songs are not that good. There are moments when you're like, okay, it's gonna fly, and then you'll like also have those moments when it's like, okay, it's chicken flying. If you have ever seen a chicken flying, you know it's not exactly an eagle or an albatross or whatever. I'm saying this band has potential, but this first album isn't exactly there yet. It's not a grand, major, big thing kind of a album, but it has its moments. So hence it's my top pick for this particular Underground Trio episode. Now, of course, you figure out for yourself, and like I said, these are all three different genres, and you really can't compare them as such, like, hey, which one is the better and which one is the best. But if you go with war metal, Hexifixion is your thing. If you want avant-garde, experimental take, Plebeian Grandstand, and if you want modern French black metal, then Oratos is your thing. Now, links are provided in the description box. Click and figure out which ones are your things, if any. Now, this is all from this episode. Take care and see you soon with more reviews coming your way. Bye bye.